Recording in progress. Welcome to Lost the Plot with Johnita and Michael.
Oh, you swapped it.
Sorry?
You swapped it.
Yeah, I did, but that's only vocal. On paper, it's actually MJ.
I got nothing.
Anyway, don't be like that. So genders. We touched on it last time. Genders. I've been giving genders a thought, and I've come up with a conclusion. If you're born with a cock, you're a guy, and if you're born with a pussy, you're a girl.
You know what? I watched a TED talk ages ago, and it says it's really easy. You don't be a dick and you don't be a pussy. And you know what? It actually nailed it, because you don't be a dick, but don't be a pussy. And I thought, you know what? It's such a simplistic way of looking at it, but it nails it. It really does nail it.
No, because if you stick your dick into a woman, you're heterosexual. And if you stick your dick into a guy, you're bisexual. And it goes the same with a woman. If the woman likes the dick inside her, she's hetero. And if she likes, a tongue or a fucking strap-on from another chick, she's bi. It's so simple. There's no fucking in between.
How do we even get onto this? It's way too early in the podcast to get straight into it. That's what you've been thinking about. You come up with that all by yourself?
All by myself. Yeah.
Go, Michael.
Woohoo! And if you like to get your cock sucked and root chicks, then you're what are you?
A normal boy, by the sounds of it.
So if you like to experiment, if a girl likes to experiment with other girls and guys, then she's bi-curious. Is that correct?
You know what? I actually just think people should just fall in love with the person, and provided everybody is telling the truth and everybody's being transparent and everybody has good communication, who are you hurting if it's all consensual? Does it really matter if two boys get together or two girls get together or a boy and a girl or whatever? As long as everybody is on the same page, nothing is hidden. I mean, love is not a gender. It's obvious love is not a gender. So why do we place so much emphasis on trying to work out how we fit into little society labels? I'm this, so therefore this is like, I listen to metal, I have tattoos, I ride a Harley, I lift heavy weights in the gym. I also like to bake shit, and I like to have I'm wearing a floral dress today. So I shouldn't have to go, okay, because she likes metal and she has two tattoos, therefore she is. It's just different aspects of me. I probably wouldn't listen to Taylor Swift. It's probably going a bit too far.
I don't care. I don't care who fucks who.
No.
One thing I do care about is a lot of gay guys. They're awesome guys. Like, I know heaps of gay guys, and they're really nice guys. But the lesos that I know, a lot of them are fucking men haters, and that I don't agree with. A lot of women that are together, or the ones that I know of, are anti-men. I don't know what it is. I'm sure not everybody is like that. I don't know many lesbian couples, but the ones that I did know were anti-men.
Yeah. You know what? I've probably gone through stages in my life where I've been anti-men, not enough to jump fence, obviously, but I've been anti-men. And I think I don't really understand the whole, I think for me, it's you just, someone said to me years ago, you fall in love with a person, not a gender. And I sort of thought to myself, that's the most profound statement anyone could ever have, because if you fall in love with a man, you're falling in love with the image of the man that you think men should be like. So whether you think your father has, all the beautiful qualities that you want to marry, so you look for a man that's like your dad, or your father had the most terrible qualities and you want to look for someone completely opposite of him, but you have an image of what a man is supposed to be. And similarly, boys have an image of what a girl is supposed to be. And when that image gets distorted or gets challenged, I think that's where the anger comes up for whichever gender it is, because men are not living up to the expectation that I've placed on them. So, and communication obviously is key in relationship, because half the time these guys don't even know that we've placed these expectations on them. And I can only speak from a girl. I'm not, bagging out men or anything like that. I don't date women, so I don't know. But, we have this expectation. Like if I say to you, I don't want you to do something, and you and I are dating and you continue to do that, then that that's upsetting me and you're continuing to do it anyway. But if I quietly think to myself, oh my God, I hate it when Michael does that, I hate it when he does that, it builds resentment. I haven't communicated that to you. You don't have a clue. You're not even given an opportunity to stop doing it or to explain why you do it. Because sometimes it's just these little things that we do, idiosyncrasy, personality parts. So it's, I just don't get the whole,
communication is key.
It is. You can deal with anything.
Yep. Communication, affinity, good communication, good affinity. We've spoken about this before, equals good reality.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough affinity, you're not going to have communication. But if you can raise your communication, you'll raise the affinity.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's trust. Because women crap on about feeling safe. We want to feel safe with a man. What safe is the trust. If we don't trust you, we don't feel safe. So, and from a very early age, women are taught by society that men are to be feared in one way or another. Men are superior, or, a man can hurt you. So we have this sort of a little bit of conditioning going on, thinking, well, men are going to hurt us. But that's not necessarily the case. No,
of course it's not the case. And, we're both, like I only just turned 50 yesterday and you're still in your 40s somewhere.
Fabulous 40s.
Oh, here we go. A lot of people are conditioned by how they actually grew up.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is conditioned by things that happened in their past. I don't know, off the top of my head, just thinking, a man could have hit you, and every time a man goes to grab your head to grab you to give you a kiss, you could flinch, because our brains do not store trauma. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Our brains actually don't store trauma.
No.
So it's going to go somewhere else. So it's going to, what's that word? It's going to, I'm not even thinking because I'm a bit hungover.
Well, your superconscious hangs on.
It'll manifest somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
It'll manifest somewhere else. And if you have an accumulation of traumas over your life, that subconscious mind of yours is not going to see future relationships with an open heart. You're always going to go into it skeptical, afraid, not completely open, not honest. I've had 3 girls cheat on me, for example. I'm always, not always, but I'm always looking for signs of what the other person does for me to think that something's going on. Like if they put their phone face down, for example.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Or they carry their phones on them 24/7 and I'm not allowed to touch it even if I wanted to look at the weather.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, makes me think about partners that I'm with, what's going on. But it's not them, it's not them. That's my baggage, that's my trauma that I've had in the past. That's my mind not storing it properly, or, not talking about it. But I've pretty much, I saw someone for a very long time after my dad passed away, because I went through, a bit of depression. I went through a bit of, trauma, losing my dad, for example. And, I tackled a lot of things from an early, from early childhood. Thankfully, I haven't had a lot of trauma over my years. The only trauma I had was, like a pet dying or my dad passing away, or, I did have traumas with, I had someone at work whilst I was doing my carpentry apprenticeship fall off a 3-story building, and I watched him die pretty much in front of me. He cracked his head open with his brain fluids coming out and stuff like that. So that was very traumatic, and that has affected me in different ways. Like driving on the freeway now, for example. I hate driving in the center lane. I like to drive on either side without driving in the center. A little bit different on a motorbike, because with a motorbike, when I'm riding a motorbike on the freeway, my brain's, going 100 k's an hour anyway. So it's, I don't know what it is. When I'm in a car, it's different. When I'm on a bike, it's different, but it has affected me in a car, like, driving on the freeway, for example. It's sometimes I find it debilitating going in a car, doing more than 100 k's an hour. I don't know why, I have absolutely no why. I don't know why I don't like, going too fast in a car, but on a bike, no problem. I'll do it, so maybe it's that adrenaline pumping through you. I don't know what it is. I'm not a psychologist or anything. I think I'd make a good relationship psychologist, but not life in general.
Oh, you can see me.
Sorry?
You can see me. I forgot you can see me before I started rolling my eyes.
And this is Evian with Barocca in it.
Of course. Mother's milk. You know what it could be, and it could be post-hypnotic suggestion. So something has happened to you that when you're in a half state of awareness, not really taking it in, but you're taking it in. And the fact that you're in a car, you don't really have to pay attention that much. So
exactly.
whereas when you're on a bike, you've got to pay attention for you. You've got to pay attention 15 cars in front of you, 25 cars either side of you, the people behind you. You've got to pay attention to absolutely everything. So your brain has got an input and an output at the same time. So you don't have any capacity to worry about the fear because you're in total control.
Yep.
And when you're in a car, I mean, how many times have we jumped in the car and then turned up at the exact place that we needed to be and can't quite remember the last, couple of Ks of our trip, because your superconscious and your subconscious takes over and goes, oh, I know the way. I've got this. You just have a little micro sleep and I'll get you there. Yep. So it's and I think that the thing that happened to us, because I've got like whatever trauma you think you missed out on, I've got 100 times that. But the difference is how you tackle it and what you do with it. So I don't live in my trauma because it happened around me, it happened with me, it happened to me, but I don't live there anymore. So it's irrelevant to me. There's no point. I can reflect back, I can cry about it, I can sit here and be angry about it. Nothing will change the outcome. It still happened. It's not going to go away because I'm mad about it, or I'm going to cry about it, or I'm going to stay in my victim mode, because it happened. Get over it. Move on. You can remove the people that did it to you. You can remove yourself from the environment. You can do all those sort of external and internal things to protect yourself from it. But it's a mindset that you have as to whether you still live there or not. And that's I teach a lot of women I say women because women are more likely to come up and say, hey, I've got this issue, can you help me with it? And I love it because you see the empowerment of where they go, okay, I can understand where this happened. So you might have been half asleep in the car one day when your parents were driving along and something jumped out and your dad swerved the car, and you said post-hypnotic suggested that you weren't in control because you're in the back seat and you're a little person and something happened and you couldn't control the outcome. So it could be something as simple as that. And because you're in that post-hypnotic or the post-hypnotic suggestion, you're sort of in a half hypnotic state, then you've taken on that, and then your superconscious has gone, oh, this is something I need to be wary of. So your mannerisms and your approach to everything will always go, oh, I need to be careful here. So that people don't come outside their comfort zone, to the people that listen to that superconscious, where I will re-loop myself and teach myself different ways of looking at things, because it's just a learning experience. We're going to fuck things up. We're humans. We're a spirit having a human experience. We're supposed to do stupid shit, so as long as it's within reason, of course. But I've done some stupid shit. But thankfully, YouTube wasn't around when I was doing my stupid shit, so there's no video evidence. That's the joys of growing up when we grew up.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm scared of heights because of the trauma that happened to me when I was young. And the funny thing is, I actually know what it is. So I used to go to my grandfather's house as a young kid with my parents, and I used to always get on the fence and then climb onto his shed roof where he put his lawnmower and all of that sort of stuff. And there was a tree next to the shed. So there was the fence, then the shed, then the tree next to it. So I used to always try and jump over the tree. It was just fun. We were kids, it was myself and my cousin used to do it. And I remember he was like, come down off there, you're going to, damage the roof, and I remember him saying that. And my very last jump down, I twisted my ankle.
Oh.
And ever since then, for some reason, I think that's what it is, why I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
Because I associate that pain with being height,
Yeah.
Before then, we used to climb trees like 50 meters up, like massive, those fig trees, with the big rooting systems.
Yeah, the curve.
We used to climb it till the very top, till we thought we were going to break the branch at the very top.
Yeah.
We had no fear whatsoever. It's not until, little things like that happen where you build up a trauma.
Yeah.
It's really weird how it affects you later on down the track. And I feel sorry for people that have experienced other things. I went to Catholic boys' school, for example. I had
that explains everything.
I had friends that I never knew about till later on in life that they were, touched by priests. I never knew about it. And they were never married. They could never have a relation or keep a relationship.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were like, had sex or anything, but they were touched. And, I don't know, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but, like we had a school reunion about 2 years ago, and, there was, I found out through other people that there were, kids that, they were great sports people and everything, but they were touched by the people when they were kids, and they were only, I'm talking about, like fucking like in year 7 or whatever,
Oh, yeah. That 10, so 11, 12. Yeah.
Yeah. And that affected them for the rest of their lives. They weren't able to maintain relationships. They weren't able to, trust people in their relationships that they did have.
Yeah.
None of them got married. And the ones that did get married weren't married for that long.
Yeah, creates a lot of intimacy issues for them.
So, stuff like that'd be something really hard to get rid of, like to sort of try and forget. Yeah. Stuff like that would be really hard. Being abused would be really hard, I'd imagine. Like I've been cheated on, and that's hard,
Yeah.
Because you're always looking for signs. But, one thing about relationships is that, sometimes because you have experienced all this, you will self-sabotage relationships.
Absolutely, because you're waiting for it to happen. So it's only going to be a matter of time.
You know what? And you'll self-sabotage it. You'll take steps to self-sabotage your own relationships.
Just sometimes so you can say, ha, all men are liars. Told you so. I knew this. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Or, one thing that I did deal with when I did see my psychologist, and she's a really good psychologist, was the self-sabotaging about the cheating thing, like You know, I was always really weary, and, you know, sometimes, you know, it may poke its ugly head here and there, you know, but if I've got great communication with the person that I'm with,
Yeah.
then it won't happen. It won't rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
You know, but fuck, if there's no great communication there, fuck, you know, I'll probably self-sabotage as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the key, because my first partner cheated, and we were together for almost 16 years, a very long time. And he cheated. He rooted everything that moved, that boy. I mean, we were young kids. So, you know, and that's why I'm laughing about it, because I mean, we would never have gone the distance anyway. We spoke a couple of years ago, and he's still him that he was when he was a kid. Then I don't think he ever evolved into a man for me. And I was trying to have a conversation with him about something that was quite deep, and he was just like, couldn't cope. So I'm like, okay, that's why we broke up. I get it now, thanks. You know, aside from the fact that, you know, he kept falling in other people's vaginas. But then
oops, here I am again. Oops. I'd rather fall in someone's vagina than get Mrs. Palmer and her 5 daughters to do the job.
But I knew that you know, each relationship teaches you something, and you take away from it. So even though he cheated, and the next guy cheated, and the next guy cheated, to me, it just, I can either stay there thinking, and I had this recently pop up for me, thinking, okay, well, fuck, I did all the work. Like, I've done so much work on myself. I don't understand why I attracted this person. See, he scratched the head. I don't understand why I keep attracting these styles of people. And it's obviously a pattern that I have. So for me, it'll be learning about how to break that pattern. But while I'm breaking my own pattern, I will still be attracting people that are trying to break their own patterns. And sometimes people don't break patterns. They quite happily go from relationship to relationship. Or then for me, I just think, I want to not have one upmanship with the person or the ex. I actually want to have one upmanship with me. Like, what am I going to learn from this? Because 3 very different guys, and they all cheated. So I'm the common denominator. You can try to hide from that or sugarcoat it however you like, but I'm the common denominator. So what is it about me that is attracting these types of people into my life? And when you and I first met, one of our very first conversations, we should have seen this podcast coming, was about cycles and patterns in our relationships and attracting similar sorts of personalities. And you know, is this person a cycle? Is this person a pattern, or is this person the reward for breaking my own pattern, and he's broken his? So would I ever stop having a relationship? Probably. Fainting goat look really fucking good right about now. But I've learned so much about me at the same time. So I'm not ever going to be angry with them for cheating, because through that process and through them doing that, you know, I mean, they've got choices, they made choices, and they went with their decisions, and, you know, I'll just always land on my feet, so it's not too bad. But it's I think you would be, I don't know how anyone could go from relationship to relationship and not stop and reflect about, you know, what am I doing here? How am I attracting these types of people, and how can I break that cycle? Because if I ever go into another relationship, I don't want a prick. I can tell you now. Yeah,
but it's, you know what? There's relationships are like onions. There's so many different layers to relationships. Okay, so you can go from guy to guy and just pick the same sort of personality, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then if you do have a break, and and if you haven't worked on yourself, you know, with experiences that you've had in the past, your relationship's still going to be the same with the next person.
Probably, but I've had quite a few years gaps in between partnerships. So I actually love being single. Given an opportunity to be in a relationship or be single, I would always choose single. And it's not so you can, you know, savor the fruits of whatever is out there whenever you feel like it. It's the peacefulness that I achieve. It's the quiet contemplation.
Don't you miss sex? I mean,
no.
Sex is like, no, sex, I disagree. Sex is a necessity. You know what? Everybody needs sex, but not everybody needs a relationship.
No, I'm going to disagree there. I need the emotional connection. Otherwise, the sex is just not sex. It's just sex. And it's the physical fulfillment of a need. It doesn't mean anything because it's just a fulfillment.
Hang on. I said it wrong. I'm talking about if you're single and you're not looking to be in a relationship, you still need sex. I still need. If I'm not looking for a relationship, if I'm not looking to settle down and fall in love and invest with somebody, I'd still like to have a friend with benefits or something.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
If I don't want to be, if I feel that I'm not emotionally ready for a new relationship, I'd still like to have sex before that relationship came along.
I think that's where you and I are completely and utterly very, very different. Because the one night stand thing has never interested me because I'm attracted to intelligence and emotional awareness. So there's nothing, one night stand, from what I can gather, doesn't really give you an opportunity to connect on an emotional level other than, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And that doesn't interest me. Bumping uglies with someone, I get that's exciting, probably why so many people cheat. I get that it's something new. I get all the theory behind it, but it doesn't interest me. Hey?
I'm not talking about cheating.
No, but
I'm talking about talking about the pleasures of having an orgasm and coming and feeling the pleasures of it. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, but nothing of that that's irrelevant to me. That's just fulfilling a very basic human need.
And that's what it is.
I need way more than that. Yeah, but I don't need that. I need way more than that.
Sex is a human need.
Yeah, but
sex is a human need.
It's a 3D thing. I'm over here in 5D.
It's not a human need to be in love, but sex is a human need. No, but
love is a higher emotion from a spirit, though. All the other emotions are human bound. So spirit has one emotion, and that is love. Spirit doesn't have any other emotion. So if you're a spirit having a human existence, the whole sex thing doesn't. Yep. If I'm with someone and we have an emotional connection and there's a deeper thing going on, then that's where it becomes different.
I am not saying that I just want to have sex with women. I mean, I love to have having sex, but I'd love to meet somebody that I'm having great sex with and who I'm also emotionally connected with and spiritually connected with.
Yeah,
that's the ultimate. But if that's not happening, people still need to be able to have sex and have an orgasm.
Yeah, that's fine. That's up to them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my thing.
Do you know how many people I've fallen in lust with first and then love later? You don't have to.
You can do that. Yeah.
You don't have to fucking follow the guidelines.
But it's not a guideline. Yeah, nobody does it.
We go on a date first. We're going to go out to dinner. No, I don't have sex on the first date. If you fucking pash somebody on the first date, pash them. If you want to have sex with somebody on the first date, fuck them.
Yeah, but
if it's easy and it flows,
but it's not. There's no sexual chemistry for me in that very early, that lusty stage. There's no sexual chemistry. It's not.
What do you mean? If you see somebody,
say
you're single. Yeah. Okay, say you're single, you're going out on a date, okay, and you meet somebody. Within the first 10 seconds whether or not you like them.
Yeah.
Straight away, you'll know, okay? But if you're getting along with them and, the conversation's flowing, okay, mind you, this isn't a blind date, okay? You've already spoken a number of times before actually meeting, okay? Yeah. You've probably done video calls, you've spoken to them a few times, then you meet up with them, you go out for a coffee, you're chatting, you're laughing together, and the fucking whole time you're thinking to yourself, I'd really love to kiss this person to see if I feel anything. Now, if you kiss them and there's fucking hot chemistry there and you want to take it further and you want to sleep with them, don't give me this fucking shit that you fucking don't fucking enjoy having sex on the first fucking
would
date?
never,
Like,
no, I've never done it, and I'm not interested in doing it because there's
you know what?
there's no connection there. But there's nothing wrong
If
with how
there
you
is a
do it. I
connection, then
actually
what?
love the way you do it because it's fascinating for me because it's so far removed from how I would do it. I would never kiss someone on the first date. I've never even held somebody's hand on the first date.
Okay.
It's just because I'm starting to learn about them and I want to see what else is in there. I want to see different energies from them. There needs to be an emotional connection for me before my pants will fall off. My pants might fall off in a couple of weeks. It did with Terry. They came off very quickly because the emotional bond between us grew very, very quickly. It was like meeting my best friend that, we just picked up from where we left off in our past life. It was a very strong, instant emotional connection.
Yep.
Did I have that with any of the other three guys? No fucking way. And I went on 30 dates before I met Terry, and I still didn't feel like, I wonder what this guy feels like to kiss. It doesn't cross my mind. I'm too busy looking at everything else.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Everybody thinks differently, and you know what? If you want to fuck on the first date,
do it.
Do it. Exactly right. Just fucking do it. If you want to kiss on the first date,
do it.
Fucking, and if you're both happy, do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow guidelines in life. You don't have to, leave school, go to university, get a good job, meet your future partner, have kids, travel, do that all later. I left school. I traveled straight away, and then studied later. Yeah. You don't have to follow guidelines. I mean, I don't have kids and I'm not going to have any kids, but, I've been with somebody for 12 years. I traveled the world with that person. You don't have to follow specific guidelines in life. Everybody expects rules in life. And the same goes with the relationships. You don't have to follow rules in relationships.
No, but it's my comfort level. But I'm not following a rule. It's not a rule. It's where my comfort level is.
I want to go out on a date first. I want to be wined and dined before I'm 69.
I want to get to know you first.
I want to be wined
and dined.
I want to be wined and dined. I want to be wined and dined.
I've never been on a wine and dine. I've never been on a wine and dine date ever. The closest I've come to a chicken schnitty and a mushroom gravy and schooner. That's the closest I've come. I'm not into that sort of overinflated stuff. It doesn't interest me. I want to sit down on your patio and get to know you. I'll go out and meet you in the park. We'll put a sausage on the barbecue and we'll have a chat. It's more, I'm not interested in all the palaver. That doesn't interest me. I don't care how much you've got in your bank account or what car you drive or what you do for a living. All of that is human shit. I don't give a flying fuck. I want to know who you are at your core. And I'm not going to have sex with you until I know who you are at your core. And you'll do little things. I notice tiny little things about you that other people would never even notice because I'm watching what's going on. I'm not judging. I'm getting to know you as a person. One of our mutual friends, I fucking loved him from the minute he opened his mouth. I will always love him. He's the coolest dude to ever breathe. He is just sweetheart. He and
is that the guy I introduced you to?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
He is the coolest guy because we have this instant, open, honest relationship. Our friendship is years and years and years old, and we didn't even know that it was years and years old. There's nothing that we keep from each other. He's an absolute fucking dude. But
I told you about him before you met him,
didn't I? He is amazing. You undersold how amazing he is. And he's got this beautiful partner and she's amazing as well. So it's but it's an energy thing. I love him and I tell him on the phone, I love you, man. And then I hang up and go off and do my own thing because it's an energy thing. Like I trust this man more than I've trusted a lot of other men in my life because he's who he is. He gives me honesty. And
I told you you would. I told you before you met him. I said, you guys are like two peas in a pod. You're going to love this guy. And you know what? I didn't even know you very well then either.
No.
I knew you a bit, but I picked up enough to say, you know what? These two guys are going to get along like a house on fire.
He's just a dude. I'm actually going through withdrawals because I haven't seen him for like, I don't know, maybe a month, maybe a month. Haven't seen him. And I'm like, dude, we have to catch up. I'm going through withdrawals. So he's just a lovely human being. He's so, even though you annoy me sometimes, I'm so grateful to you for introducing me to him. Because he's a dude.
Yeah. He is a dude.
Yeah.
He is a dude. He's a nice guy. I lived with him for a little while. That's how I met him.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And I lived with him a year. This was so many years ago, but when I was really young. But yeah, he was a really nice guy back then. He's a nice guy now. We've always been in contact. I haven't seen him before we saw each other at the Freedom thing. I hadn't seen him for years, but only because I was living on the Central Coast. I only moved to Sydney 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, just he's a nice guy, nice all-round person. But it's, you know what, I can count on one hand all my really close friends, like all of them come and go. People in your life, they'll come and they'll go.
Yeah.
You think you're close to them. They might be really close to you for a couple of years, but then they'll go, but
you learn from them and then you move on. So friendships are not going to stay around forever. I've got some friends that I've known for 20 years and we catch up and we don't live in each other's pocket, but we know everything there is to know about each other. So it's just that it's an energy thing, for me. So, I am attracted to types of people based on what my soul and what my body is doing when I'm around them. Like our mutual friend, he drove into the city once. That was fine. I trusted him behind the wheel. No problems. I never even thought twice about it. The second time I had to drive, he said, "Oh, you can drive this time." I was shitting my pants, right? Because city driving, I'm essentially a country kid. So city driving freaks me out a little bit. And he sat next to me, and any anxiety that I had around driving in the city was instantly gone. He just chilled me down instantly. And because I lip read, obviously, I get a little bit nervous about being able to look at the person giving me directions. He just knew how to communicate with me instantly. It was great. I didn't even worry. He even told me exactly where to park. It was easy.
Hang on, who are you talking about?
Nathan. Absolutely Nathan.
Hey, you're not allowed to mention names, remember?
He won't mind. We're not bagging him out. We're singing his praises. But and when I got there, I'm like, go me. Like I just drove in the city. I didn't freak out, not even once, because he's just got this really old feel calm about him. It's just, he's a dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. All right. You don't have to fucking talk about him. He's going to take up too much of our podcast.
True.
Yes, you love him. Yes, you wish you were with him. Yes.
No, we're not. No, it's not. We don't even see. I'm not even convinced he's a boy half the time, because it just, the gender thing doesn't seem to be an issue between us.
Has he got a cock? Does he have a dick?
Yeah,
if
but
it's
not. But there's no. It's like talking to your favorite brother and your uncle and your cousin and your best friend forever, all rolled into one.
Yep.
It's not. Yeah. It's not. If you haven't had such a strong connection with anyone, I don't think you'd actually really get what I'm saying about it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's bored with this conversation. We need to find something else to talk about.
Oh gosh, yeah. Fucking talk about something else, will you? Something interesting. Let's talk about sex.
Oh, great. Here we go again. So you can tell which one of us is single, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
It's like when you said, "Oh, I fall in lust with people first," and then it develops or it doesn't develop. You work out, how you connect in that first kiss or that first bump and uglies or whatever it is, and then you work out from there.
I've got a high libido. I've got a high libido. My libido gets the best of me sometimes. A lot of guys. It's funny. I've dated a few girls in the last, 30 years. And a lot of them say, can't you just finish after 20 minutes? And it's like, well, no, because you got foreplay and you got kissing and everything like that, and then it's really weird. A lot of women are fucking accustomed to guys having a hard on for like 5 or 10 minutes. And that's it. It's really weird. It's fucking, look, I've met a few women that, have been married or whatever, and I don't know what happens in a marriage like that. I was with someone, for 12 years and never had any issue in that department. But fuck, I'd love to know where these, how these women fucking are satisfied with, 10 minutes in bed. Or even up to 20 minutes in bed. I don't see the point of it. it's not, for me, sex is not about having an orgasm. It's about the journey getting there, you know? Like, I love the feeling of, you know, sliding in and out of somebody, you know? I love the feeling of, you know, normal sex. I love the feeling of anal. I love the feeling of, you know, oral, you know? What's wrong?
Nothing.
Huh?
Carry on.
Yeah, you're not an anal person, right?
It's a physical need. It's fulfilling, and sometimes 10 or 20 minutes is because you're time poor. You got kids, you got work, you've got, you know, you got doing everything else, and the sexy goes out of it, especially in long-term relationships. But
Oh, fuck no. You know what? I love giving oral, for example. I will fucking happily go down on somebody for half an hour. I will fucking happily do it. You know, I'll have a couple of minutes breaks in between orgasms because I understand that they're very sensitive after they orgasm. Happy to wait, but fuck, you know, I absolutely love, you know, giving oral, you know, and that takes more than fucking 20 minutes. You know, how are you supposed to do everything in 20 minutes? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
yeah, sometimes, well, maybe these women that you've been with have had partners that are about self-gratification. A lot of porn sites, you know, it's all about the man and servicing the man and making sure the man has got everything that he needs. So perhaps,
You know what?
these girls think that, you know, that they're just, the guys do what they need to do, they get their rocks off and then they fall asleep and they're not interested anymore. There's a lot of intimacy missing, which is exactly why I need to build this.
Porn sites are not realistic, okay?
They're not,
Porn
but a lot of
sites,
people think they are.
yeah, but porn sites are ruining relationships,
Oh, big
okay?
time. I agree with you there.
They're not real. Porn
The only
sites are
time we'll
not real.
agree.
They're great if you want to fucking, you know, have a chug or have a little bit of a feel when you're by yourself, because your imagination, half of an orgasm is, you know, your imagination when you're watching these fucking things.
Yeah.
But when I'm with somebody, you know, it's actually no good to watch too much porn and have a relationship at the same time.
No.
It'll ruin your relationship.
Unrealistic expectations on what it is. And there's no intimacy. I mean, it's fake.
Unrealistic. But
yeah. My
you know
first
what?
partner, he went to a prostitute for his first time. So when he was like 14 in Melbourne, his mates got him an hour, however it worked, with the prostitute. So poor kid, he spent, and we were together for almost 16 years. And obviously we weren't having sex that entire time, but the time that we were having sex, you know, a good 10 years of that, he used to try to get his rocks off as many possible times in that 1 hour because he's got to get his money's worth. So his first time with a prostitute kind of ruined my sex life. So the first guy I slept with after the first boyfriend, I was like, oh, so this is what sex is supposed to be like. I've been ripped off all this time, you know, because he used to jackrabbit it. I actually nicknamed him Mike because he was done in 30 seconds like a microwave is, right? Just go, hammer it, and then get off. So, and if you've been in relationships where boys are like that, or they have an unrealistic expectation of what intimacy is, or they're frightened of intimacy, it's just a sex and fulfilling a basic human need, a caveman need, cave person need, then the sex is going to be terrible. It's always going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And having sex with a narcissist can sometimes have its own problems too. Boyfriend number 3 was a narcissist. So, you know, very self-gratifying, and it's got really less about.
What is a narcissist? What is a guy who's a narcissist? You know, I've been called a narcissist before. I don't think I'm a narcissist, you know.
I think everyone's got narcissistic traits in them. I mean, it's a survival thing, isn't it? Really, it's whether it's like the ego. You know, all these spiritual people say, oh, you know, you need to work on your ego and get rid of it. Fuck off. If you get rid of your ego, you won't apply for another job. You won't have ambition. You won't have drive or goals or, you know, personal things that you want to achieve. That is all from your ego self. It's keeping it in check so you don't get those goals by putting other people down. It's, you know, superiority complex is not an ego. You know.
Yes, it's been 40 minutes
already.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you know, shut up. I think this is why when
I was fucking trying to get my word in half the time with you.
Oh, all you wanted to do was talk about sex, you boring boy. I need to go wash my hair.
Well, the online dating app's about to go off because did you know after 7, a psychologist once wrote in an article that I read, a lot of people that are really bored only start texting after like 7 p.m.
Oh, wow. So
on
all the
dating.
desperados are out now, are they?
Yeah, they're all out. So my phone's going off at the moment.
You better stop hanging out with me. I'm boring as batshit.
Nah, I met someone really nice online. I'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'll see how it goes. I'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But she's nice.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
Pixie.
try it my way first. Maybe build an emotional connection before you see her panani. Look,
You know what?
the look on your face is absolute disgust.
Fucking disgusted with your comments. I'm
Like,
absolutely
what the
fucking
fuck?
disgusted with your comments. I will
Okay.
do it my way.
I expect nothing less. All right, you go and cash in the time with your desperados. You know why? Because they probably fed the kids and the husband snoozing on the couch or something. So now they're out for the prowl. Maybe. I don't know.
will fucking not do anything with a married woman ever.
No. You need to have boundaries in place. And it's not society rules. It's about personal boundaries and where your moral compass is as a human being, as an individual. Got nothing to do with anybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, people.
Thanks for tuning in to Lost the Plot with Johnita and Michael. I swapped it.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, guys. See you later.